Hey guys, hope you're having a great and lazy Sunday. Lots of Apple news to cover today, some Apple leaks. Before that, I just want to say thank you for helping me reach 6.5 million. Actually, someone pointed out that milestone to me a couple days ago, and I wanted to say thank you for that. I'll be doing an iPhone giveaway and a wrap up together with my new Tesla Model 3. So I did get one of those, and genuinely one of the most cool and just exciting products, just a tech product on wheels that I haven't had that kind of feeling in a very long time. Something that truly gets me fired up and passionate. So I want to take some time with my video, a little review, I guess, on that, and I'll wrap in a giveaway with that this coming week. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, let's get into all of the new Apple leaks. And I wanted to start with this. This is insane. An Apple store in France is getting raided, actually straight up pillaged, with no employees in sight, just free for all, grab whatever you want and run outside. That is absolutely crazy. I'll leave a link to that full video down below in the description. And I wanted to start with the Apple case. So 9to5Mac originally found this glyph in watchOS 5.1.2 Beta 2, and it depicts a new Apple Smart Battery case. So this is part of the widget that's actually displayed on your iPhone. It's a very tiny, low resolution image, but gives you an idea that yes, Apple is working on a new smart battery case for the new iPhone XS series or the iPhone 10. But then shortly after this, 9to5Mac obtained images of the actual case from the back, and we can tell a lot has changed from the design of the last generation on the iPhone 6s. And not only is the design different, it appears that there's 3 model numbers of this case, which you could assume would be for the iPhone XS, XR, and XS Max. So this would be the first time ever that Apple would offer this case in a larger size. It seems that they chilled a little bit on the design side and made it look a lot more normal. So it doesn't have this giant protrusion in the back. They smoothed off the edges, and as you can see, we built the design as closely as we could. We didn't get the runoff quite right, so obviously Apple's is going to look a lot more refined than this, but we're assuming it's going to come in several colors, and if it does come out for the iPhone XR, that it would have a new color for that, or colors, depending on which iPhone you had. So we gave that one a splash of color. Looks great, and I gotta say, even though the iPhone 6s one didn't look that great, my dad still uses his case with his iPhone 6 to this day. And that thing is flawless. It works so well, and I love the software integration. So this generation of cases, if Apple does come out for the XS Max one, I will buy it sort of as a reserve if you go camping or somewhere where you're gonna need a little bit more battery power. It's really great to have that. But it's cool that this was found out. They didn't say how they got these images, assuming that they want to keep that door open for future product leaks or whatever, but developer Rambo, of course, has everything to do with this. If I were to get a battery case, it would be this one, despite all of the other third-party manufacturers, just because Apple ties it in with software and you can monitor the case from your phone. And also an identifier within the code suggests that Apple is planning to release this thing here very, very soon, even before 2019. This wouldn't be a surprise, as in the past, Apple has released this case exactly in December 2015, and then the AirPods in December 2016, so they kind of have a record for releasing things at the very, very last minute here in December, and it would be cool. And then Apple would have to throw in the AirPods 2 and the AirPower wireless charging mat all together to make it work, and I'll talk about that here in a second. So this case is all cool and everything, but there's one big problem, and that's with the new iPhones. They have wireless charging. How are you going to charge your iPhone with this case on? Are you going to have to take it off every single time? Are you going to have to go back to wires and plug it in? So it would really inconvenience you in many ways. So that's where this patent comes into play. This has just been applied for, and it comes at a perfect moment where they need this technology. This depicts a way to get wireless charging on a case for Apple. So they would be able to put in a wireless charging mat at the bottom of a case, and I'm assuming that it would be this battery case. So that way they can fix the problem of not having to sacrifice wireless charging, still having that feature, but also having the added ability to get all that extra battery life. And I'm assuming they'd combine these technologies together. No one has put these pieces together, but it just makes sense. So these new cases could be the first ever from Apple that have wireless charging. And while there's still no word on AirPower, a new patent application actually shows a lot of technologies, the intricate details of how they work. And wow, AirPower just seems to be getting more and more complex. It really puts it into scope how they'd have so much difficulty releasing this thing and bringing it to market. So the first part of this patent details that the device with the largest display at the time of being on the mat will display all of the battery information. So of course, like they demoed in their actual event, the iPhone when placed on the mat will show the battery percentage of the AirPods case and your Apple Watch. But if your iPhone were to not be there, I'm assuming that by this patent's description, your Apple Watch would would show the charge and then the charge of the AirPods wireless charging case. So that's kind of cool. They also detailed that it would be future proof. So right now there's certain standards, the Qi wireless standards, there's several others, but this thing would be able to adapt and regulate the voltage, the charge rate of any future standard. So that's kind of cool that you wouldn't be buying this thing and it'd be obsolete in like 2-3 years. You could keep using it for a very long time. Apple is future-proofing this thing very much. And because this thing is actually going to have a custom Apple processor inside of it, they've actually implemented a security feature to where you couldn't hack your iPhone through the AirPower wireless charging map. It'd be sending little tiny packets of data that would be innocuous. It wouldn't have anything that could possibly infiltrate the iPhone. It'd just be sending data about the charge rate, how much percentage your iPhone has, stuff like that. So kind of cool that Apple is future-proofing that as well. The AirPower wireless charging map might even get updates over time. So all around, this thing is incredibly complex. You can kind of understand why it would take Apple so long to release it, but it's honestly getting ridiculous at this point. It has been so long since announcement. And as far as we know about the release date on this bad boy, Ming-Chi Kuo last said that it would be releasing at the end of 2018 or early 2019. And that exactly coincides with the AirPods 2 rumored release date, also late 2018 or early 2019. So I'm assuming Apple would release all of these in a package deal alongside with the new battery case with the wireless charging, which would also work on the AirPower mat. So it's very possible that Apple could make this work by the end of 2018. They have a couple weeks to play with here, especially if they want to cash in on the holiday sales. By the way, Best Buy has just reported that AirPods have been their best sellers for 2 months in a row now. You can definitely see that Apple would want to cash in on this holiday surge of Apple products, the perfect price range for a good gift. So AirPods 2, AirPower, the wireless charging case, they could theoretically all make it to market relatively soon here to cash in on that. And a new patent from Apple has dropped regarding AirPods and the future of them, and this is technology likely coming to AirPods 3. If you haven't seen the last video, we break it down, all the features, the 2 and 3 model, so watch that if you haven't. But this new patent actually details that future AirPods could be interchangeable. They won't have a left and right side. You'll be able to pick one up and put it in either ear. Now, this also creates some problems with comfort. Could it be as comfortable as a dedicated left and right channel? I'd certainly be worried about that, but knowing Apple, they put the time into it, the testing, everything like that. It also details biometric sensors, so it would be able to tell which ear it's in just because of those sensors. It would also theoretically be able to take your heart rate, monitor your body during exercise, stuff like that. So AirPods are about to get a whole lot smarter. Whether this is for the 2 version or the 3 version, I'm super excited. And some news regarding 2019 iPhones. An analyst from Nomura is saying that 2019 iPhones will have no major redesign. That's a bit disappointing because I was hoping that this year Apple would actually convert the design to that similar of the iPad Pro. It just seems like where they're going back to that blocky design. Unfortunately, that won't be the case here. It'll basically be the same layout, same iPhones as this year's iPhones. And that certainly will not help them sell any more iPhones. They've been doing so bad lately with the iPhones that they actually had to change the marketing slogan for the iPhone XR 3 times within the last couple of months. Now they're basically promoting a $449 deal with a trade-in. It's a little deceptive. You know, most people will be going in thinking it costs that much, but you have to trade in an iPhone 7 Plus or above to get that credit. It really puts into perspective here that Apple is not selling as many of these phones as they wanted to. The news articles left and right are all doom and gloom regarding Apple. Their stock prices keep sliding. Even the iPhone XS is getting the same treatment now with a $699 promotion price tag. Again, with that trade-in. You're not going to get that price just by going and buying the iPhone. It's not an actual promotion unless you have an iPhone 7 Plus or above to trade in. Man, this just all around is such a bad situation for Apple. And making it worse, there's this new article that broke that the iPhone intent to purchase right now has reached a 5-year low. So most people are holding onto their iPhones longer and longer. Could this be that Apple shot themselves in the foot by making their iPhones last so long, by supporting the software for so long on older iPhones? I don't think so. I just think that their new iPhones are not exciting enough. So most people have no need to upgrade anymore. That smartphone hype just isn't there anymore. And Apple, as you can see, is hurting. I mean, they're changing their slogans left and right, trying to promote iPhones like never before. And by the way, before I forget, also in that report regarding the 2019 iPhones, that that analyst is saying the biggest changes coming to the 2019 iPhones is basically a stopgap update. It's going to prepare the iPhone for 5G network, so they'll work on that internally. They'll work on augmented reality, improving it for the huge changes coming to the 2020 iPhone. So that makes me think, could the triple lens camera be delayed until 2020, where we're actually going to see some big physical changes to the iPhone? Either way, it's not looking good for this year's iPhone. Not very exciting after all. And I also thought this was funny. The Monterey Bay Aquarium actually pointed out that Apple's squid is anatomically wrong. The siphon is supposed to be on the opposite side of where it's placed currently on the squid, so a hot fix could be incoming here very soon. Apple takes their emojis very seriously. And next week, iOS 12.2 Beta 1, there's a very high possibility of that dropping. Apple never usually stops working on future firmware releases, so I'm excited about that. What sort of fixes do you guys think will be included? Alright guys, thanks for watching. For all the people asking me to review the Model 3, trust me, I will. I'm so excited to do that. It has truly ignited the passion for tech in me again, and wow. So I'm going to do that next week, and the iPhone giveaway, I'll roll that into one. Stay tuned for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.